So every once in a while, I will see something at home that my head explodes about, and then I say, I have to see if I'm the only one who sees this.
And then we get an email from you.
And then we get an email from me. So because I like to make sure I'm not totally crazy. But Ivanka Trump is assistant to the president with an office in the White House, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So somebody explain this to me.
Okay.
You know, I try to stay out of politics. You know, his political instincts are phenomenal. He did something that no one could have imagined he'd be able to accomplish. There were very few who saw it early on. I feel blessed to have been part of the ride from day one and before, but he did something pretty remarkable. But I don't profess to be a political savant.
I want to watch it.
So how can a presidential advisor not want to talk politics? I mean, am I crazy? Okay, that's all I want to know.
I mean, in my opinion, you are not crazy.
Okay.
When I heard this, I was very confused, and I think it's because she considers these things she wants to talk about, the opioid crisis, workforce development, as not being political. But what is she not getting? That all of these things are political, because if you're going to fix problems like this, you have to bring policy about. You have to do something in the community. So if she didn't want to be in politics, maybe she shouldn't have taken the job, stayed out of it.
Well, that goes double for her father.
What's misleading is that she is benefiting from her political appointment, because we know that she met with the Chinese government, that she met with the president, and in April her brand, her company, got provisional approval for 3 trademarks. And so she is in fact extremely political, but she's political and she has a lot to gain personally, and that's a real problem.
Well, and what Jed was saying about, like, these are policies. These causes don't need just allies talking about them and having meetings. They need policy instituted to further them, like to actually help them.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. And the other thing is, I think that you keep hearing every time someone from Trump camp, he calls it T camp. T camp. He's reduced himself to a letter, but they talk often about how he pulled something off. I think it's really important to remember that everyone knows this campaign was mind-blowing, but that doesn't give him a credibility of policy, politics, how to lead once you have the job. So I think the idea of making that, if this is true, then this is a false narrative. You can't keep saying
Didn't he say that he wasn't a politician, that's what he ran on, and that he was going to surround himself by people that knew politics? But then he appoints his daughter as his advisor, and now she's saying she doesn't want to talk about politics.
So the answer is you're not crazy, Whoopi.
I'm thrilled.
You're not crazy.
Because, you know, sometimes I think to myself, really? Because some of this is like, does anybody else see this happening?
People do. I think people see plenty.
I think a lot is.
His approval rating is down to 34%. That leaves a lot of people who don't like him, and who don't buy.
Because what you were saying before about he didn't have any experience in politics per se, but that he was going to surround himself with. That's what a lot of the supporters were counting on. That well, he's going to be a businessman who's going to know how to hire the right people. And now you're seeing mistakes like this. Jared Kushner. I mean, there's a lot of people that he's hired that have left people scratching their heads that did support him and did vote for him. So I think a lot of people.
It's interesting that Jared and Ivanka were supposed to be the liberal counterparts, that they were going to be the sanity in the White House. P.S. They're not. They're not.
Well, she is more liberal. I mean, she talks about maternity leave and climate change. She disagreed with the way he's got to listen to them. In order for her to be able to affect stuff, he's got to have.
But if it doesn't translate to policy, and she considers her someone that just sitting at the table, you're taking someone's spot. Because there is someone that can do something.